Right.
It was bad when I saw it in '85. And
See, I stayed away because of the reviews. As much as I loved Road Warrior, I read the reviews and I was right.
I was hoping,
or they were right.
I was like, oh, this will be great.
I saw this movie opening night, 1985 summer at the Petaluma Drive-In, and I may have had a few bong rips before the movie started, but I had only seen this movie one time prior to watching it the other night. And
wow!
My opinion of this movie was so clouded by the the conditions with which I watched it.
By the clouds.
It's like maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I was just really fucking high. And I will say objectively that the first 45 minutes of this movie leads you to believe that it is something really great. Like there's something about what the world that George Miller is creating that's like a really cool mixture of the first couple of Mad Max movies and like a lot of what I thought was like Terry Gilliam art direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to that middle third, the second those fucking kids show up.
Oh yeah.
It's that the movie just goes off a cliff, like, oh, this is so fucking terrible. And then
I think that's the part directed by Ogilvie.
I don't know. It's like the pigeon English and the captain, whatever the fuck. Like it's
Walker.
I'm the asshole that hate, like the second you bring children into an action movie, like I usually check out because I think it's a cheap attempt to gain audience sympathies. It's like it's too easy, right? But then you get to the last third with the chase where Tina Turner is chasing him on the train, but again you're sort of like, this is just the last better Road Warrior but on a train.
Right.
Well, you know what? When the thing gets on wheels, then you're like, oh, now it's a Road Warrior movie. Now it's a Mad Max movie.
But I've seen this movie already.
Yeah, we've seen better versions of it, although there are some great stunts and some great moments in that chase.
The stunts in that scene are unfucking believable.
For 1985, they're phenomenal.
This is weird, Chris, but I'm going to take the opposite tack from you. I thought the beginning was kind of weirdly doctrinaire, like we saw this in Mad Max and Road Warrior, and it was kind of like, just bear with me. I thought it was kind of like, this is the whole barter town, the whole like post-apocalyptic thing, and then he gets vanished. And being the kids, I thought was finally plunging into something unusual and interesting.
So like, this was the first half with Bartertown was expected to you. It was like, this is what I would expect.
What you expect if you watch a post-apocalyptic film about.
It's like
but when you get the kids, you're talking about like people who really lived through it.
Of what? A Boy and His Dog. Yeah.
But okay. Sure. Boy,
there's good Looney Tunes quicksand in it though.
Yeah,
there is. More of that stupid clip.
I was waiting for the Sarlacc to come out of it.
But yeah, I mean, we have to address the elephant in the room is that this wasn't supposed to be a Mad Max movie.
What?
This wasn't supposed to be a Mad Max movie.
What was
the script? The script was written as a post-apocalyptic Lord of the Flies. And by
who? I didn't do the research.
I don't remember who wrote it.
Okay.
But so Miller signs on to direct it right after Brian what's his name? The producer.
Yuzna.
Yeah. Died while they were scouting locations for this.
Right.
And so he's talking to some of the people who are already working on the movie, and the original story ends with somebody showing up, a man showing up finally and intervening with the children and all of that. And he goes, what if the person who finds him is Max? And then it's a Mad Max movie.
So that's the thing. It started out.
They wrote a front and a back to put onto the Lord of the Flies thing, and they cut a lot of the Lord of the Flies stuff out of it. So that's why it feels like two movies.
Yeah,
it is.
It is
basically two.
It feels like three movies.
Yeah, well, they definitely have.
No, it's like you cut a movie in half and then you put another movie in the middle of
it. Yeah. Instead of just splicing in the middle like From Dusk Till Dawn, this is like and then you drop the Lord of the Flies thing in the middle,
right?
And you get back to the Bartertown at the end through the flimsiest of excuses. It's like I didn't even understand what they were trying to do when they went back, honestly. And it was like, oh, now they're in a train that I didn't know was there.
The guy changes into like a conductor's costume. It's like that's the goofy part. There's a lot of
fucking stuff. Hey, there's a lot of goofy parts, Scott.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. One of the things I remember
goofy
one of the things I remember getting really angry about the first time I saw this when it came out still angers me, which is you're going to bring, the actor's name is, I think, Bruce Spence, who played the helicopter pilot in the first movie.
Yeah.
You're going to plop him back into this story, and they're going to act as if they've never met.
Yeah, and he's a different character. He's not Gyrocap.
What the fuck?
I just thought it was the same guy, and they fixed his teeth. Like, he found a dentist.
That was a cool airplane he had, though. What was
it? Was, but why not just make him the gyro guy?
Why not just make him the gyro captain?
I know, would have been nice.
He didn't die in the first. He didn't die in Road Warrior.
He got away with it with a cute girl, might I add.
Just give some acknowledgement that you again.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Why does Cheech Marin play 3 characters in From Dusk Till Dawn? Come on,
no.
Because it's funny. Actually,
this movie is true to form in that Max kind of gets his ass handed to him and ends up with nothing.
Right,
which is always what happens.
Yeah.
No, Max is an asshole. He lives in an asshole world, and he gets asshole prizes. Like that's
right.
I was watching this again. I was amazed how much of Fury Road was based in this film. Like, there was a guy looked like a war boy.
It's almost like a rough draft.
It was a rough draft. There's a chase at the end. I saw they did a bit when they're cutting Max's hair, and some kid was grabbing the hair. I was like, that was in Fury Road as well.
Oh yeah.
It was like there's always little details that he used again. And
he was gonna make it.
Well, you guys, I mean, like I literally fired up Fury Road like the second this was over.
That's smart.
And I was just like, God damn, this is like maybe one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Well, it's a masterpiece. There's no way around it.
It's amazing that all these years later, the 4th movie, and he makes that.
Yeah,
exactly 30 years later. That's
70 years old.
This squares the circle. This movie squares the circle between the guy who made that movie and the guy who made Babe.
That's true.
It's
the pig connection is strong.
Well, I'm not just talking about that, but I'm talking about the sort of goofy, childish stuff in this that he makes in Babe, that he makes in Happy Feet and stuff like that. Like, because you think to yourself, how the fuck did the guy who made Babe make Fury Road?
Right.
Like, and this is it. Like, like it is. I think it's an important historical document, if nothing else.
Oh, for sure,
absolutely.
Because much like the movie feels like it was cut in half, Miller's career feels like it was cut in half, and it's something else dumped in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
After this, he did like Dead Calm and a couple films. He kind of trailed off a little bit.
Dead Calm was Philip Noyce.
Yeah, was it Philip Noyce?
I think he produced Dead. Maybe he was one of the producers.
He wrote it, produced it, and he shouted. It was Philip Noyce. Okay, good enough.
Dead Calm was Philip Noyce.
Damn. All right. Well, never mind then. But
that's a good movie though. That's a great movie.
Well, he basically became an executive for a while,
right?
Like, and when you look at movies like Babe and Happy Feet, the directors of those movies are much more like producers in a lot of cases. Like
the Lucas effect.
Yeah.
Listen, I love those Babe movies, both of them. I actually think the second one's better than the first one.
They're both really good. Oh, here we go. Guess who's here? Hold on. All right, there he is. Also, Tina Turner acquitted herself beautifully in this film.
She's not got that many scenes.
No.
She's really good in the one.
You don't see. Go ahead. You don't see bad guys who are good guys.
Go ahead, so I can talk over you.
When she rolls,
I never do it this time. It's only because of Jared's haircut. I'm doing this.
I love the line, "You're a raggedy man." Like I fucking like the way her delivery of that line is so good.
Yeah.
But
it's really not.
She's a great presence, but I don't.
I just didn't do anything with it today.
Okay.
Casting.
Yeah, I didn't think she was that great. I thought they thought they were working around her being, sort of a celebrity actor.
Ding, 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 ding.
There's presence. That presence is one of those undefined.
She's got a presence. I'll give you that.
Presence.
Yeah.
Stunt casting.
She comes in, and it's just every time she's in a scene, she just sucks all the energy towards herself.
Yeah, she always draws the eye to her.
Yeah,
whatever she's doing.
It's if it was George Miller's thing or it was her, it doesn't matter because it's like really neat. You know, it's like
I agree. She's awesome. She just can't act.
no, she didn't really.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
not a
I
lot.
think
There's
Jared's
not
right
a
on
lot of
this one.
particularly good acting in any of these movies. Like
Mel
It's
was
kind of a dead horse
to
to beat. Yes, like talk about the acting quality.
Mel's good, actually.
Mel-
Even when all those scenes, Jared, you got here late, so you didn't hear us capping on the middle Lord of the Flies part. with all
Oh
the
my
kids.
God. The
Jesus.
goddamn.
I know. We all agree.
The fucking
Have you
Ewoks
seen
meets
this,
Lord of the
Jared?
Flies whole section. I was like, no.
But Mel's good in those scenes. He reacts like
Yeah.
dumbfounded and he argues with them. I'm not the guy.
I like when he just fucking knocks that chick out. He's like, "All right, I tried." Pop.
And you see him thinking about it. He's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
He's got his hand up there, and
and
he's
ties
like,
her up afterwards. And all.
yeah.
Oh, that got kind of weird because I have a feeling that she was kind of the girlfriend kind of figure at the end. You know, is gonna.
No.
There's,
"No."
you know,
But by the way, can we talk about? Okay, so they get all the way to the bar. What I'm assuming is a burned out version of what, Sydney,
That's Sydney. yes.
and go. Oh, this is where we want to. This is where we're gonna like. Oh,
Yeah, this is where we're
paradise.
gonna
Let's
live.
stay here.
All right. Well, if you want to talk about logic, yeah. Why is everybody living out in the desert? Why aren't they living in where there's buildings?
But why would I'm sorry,
And
objectively,
water.
where they
Water,
were
yeah.
to that, is that literally that much better?
actually,
Like,
Okay. Why
it's
is
a hard-
Bartertown out in the middle of the sand when there's obviously a short horseback rides away? There's a canyon filled with water.
Yeah.
the thing that struck me when I first saw this in '85, and they were doing that fly through of Sydney, and you see the Opera House and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harbor
Yeah,
Bridge.
you do see
It's
the
like
opera.
you're coming in low, and below the Harbor Bridge, there's this huge, steep cliff. It's like, what? They drain the ocean? What's going
They
on?
drain the ocean.
Yeah, that was at sea level. There's no logic to it. It's like, you know what I mean?
The logic
Hmm.
I
was
guess-
we had a cool camera shot and we made this miniature. Shut the
No,
fuck
that's
up.
true.
No,
I like
Tad's
that.
right.
But the thing is, these Mad Max films all have like a narrator talking from the future to the past.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that
I
was
don't know
kinda-
if we
that was
already-
kinda neat.
I don't know if we already talked about this, but this has the worst score I've
Oh,
maybe
yes,
almost
we-
ever heard.
No, I didn't
Jared,
really-
Jared is right. This music is constantly telling me how to feel.
What, who did-
Constantly.
who's
Hold on, I gotta change my light.
Was it
But yeah, it's
Maurice?
like when he meets when
It's-
he finally meets the little Lord of the Flies people, it's like this like dum,
Oh,
dun,
it's
dun,
so
dun, bum,
fucking.
bum,
and I think-
bum,
Isn't
bum,
this is
was that
Maurice?
like fucking oh
Isn't
was
this
that
Maurice
Maurice Jarre?
Jarre?
It was
Yeah.
Maurice Jarre,
right?
yeah. It was,
It was
you know
Jarre.
that's Mr.
Lawrence of fucking Arabia.
No,
Right?
eyes without a face guy.
Oh no, he's been around forever. But no,
I know. He
This
actually
music
did
is
stuff.
He's both.
Yeah.
This music is constantly punching me in the face, telling me how to
Once
feel.
again, squaring the circle between the two parts of his career.
It's true.
But yeah, there was absolutely Lawrence of Arabia intentional overtones in the scenery and the music when they were out there in the desert.
When it's not like cheesy music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He also
yeah.
did
They
Cherry
didn't draw too much
Fire,
attention.
didn't he?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was Vangelis.
That was Vangelis. Okay. I get those foreigners mixed up.
Also, I
this
had to-
definitely needed this whole thing needed that Mystery Science Theater treatment because it's really kind of that bad.
I
lot of
don't
the
think that could even help.
Also, this is like for people who are old enough to remember. This was all practical. It's all real sets.
Yeah.
It's all real things.
Well-
it's like wow, that's a lost world.
No
I was gonna
shit.
bring up 'cause
No
it-
shit. The sets were the sets.
The sets
You
were
know,
the
in
sets.
Bartertown, that's
and,
all real.
and this is where they get like
Real
the
good shit.
costuming. It made me want to watch Fury Road again really badly.
Oh, I
And
did.
You should have.
So did
And-
I
I.
did.
it's yeah, I think it's going to be on the next thing I watch. But
Well, they're connected.
I like that they
I
had
already
they
knew
already
I was going to.
they're developing all the costumes here and a lot of the rigs were carried over to Fury Road. This
Mhm.
very
And a lot of
they've got
scenes, a lot of the action, a lot of the ideas. You saw that
Yeah.
Little Boy with the
Yeah, they
black eyes
carried
and
part of
stuff.
the script.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so it was really and actually I think some of the sequences the fight in Thunderdome was awesome. I
The
loved
fight's
that.
good.
Well done.
And
And it had some nice pathos in it too.
And I loved a lot
Oh,
of the
for
road
sure.
stuff too. The road battles were actually pretty decent. Some of
That
them
was like
and
you
cool.
could splice into Fury Road almost. It's almost the same thing.
Well, then again, same thing as Road
I don't
Warrior.
know.
Road Warrior, yeah. Road
Yeah,
Warrior is
think
better because
Mad
it's
Max
it's
2.
almost entirely on the road.
And the guy loves the
Mhm.
shots where a vehicle hits another vehicle and the vehicle explodes. He loves
Oh,
that.
it's so awesome.
Yeah,
There's another signature.
Because it's cool as shit.
There's another signature
It's-
shot that I love, no matter how many times Miller does it, where you're in front of a vehicle that's going really fast,
Yeah.
and he trucks in on the actor's face as he's behind the
yeah.
wheel. It fucking
Yeah.
works, and he does it
Or-
like 6 times in this movie, and it's like,
or-
fuck yeah, it
or-
looks cool every
True,
time.
true.
Or trucks in on the guy hanging off the fucking cow catcher.
Yeah.
Like,
That same
Yeah.
deal, man, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
argument.
so there's some good things in this movie for
No
sure.
argument technique.
Oh.
I'm not sure what was wrong with it. I think the tone was really all over the place. That was
Yeah.
probably the problem.
Well,
Yeah.
Jared, we brought up who brought up Terry Gilliam?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You know, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of that in there.
Yeah, he's king of the wide angle,
Especially with
low
the
wide
sound.
angle.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, historically, it's like, okay, so George Miller, I'm sure Warner Brothers was just chomping the bit to get him to do another movie. So they probably threw as much money at him as was humanly possible. And this is what he chose to do with it.
Yeah.
right. And as usual, he said, I will only do this if I can make it in Australia with Australians and the weirdest fucking cars I can come up with. And they were
And
great.
Exactly.
Oh, I also want to point out that the pig shit infrastructure thing makes
Kinda
more
cool.
sense than the energy story in the Matrix.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
nicely done. Nicely done. Nice.
It also makes more
Nice
sense. It
picture.
also makes more sense than a Morton Joe's water. How did
I
he
mean,
get all
there
that
was-
water?
Yeah,
up in
how do you
the
get all that water up there in the middle of the desert? I know. Don't think about it.
Well, the thing
I
is,
really-
okay,
There are things in the third season of the original series of Star Trek that make more sense. than the,
Oh, stop right there.
energy
you pointed
thing.
something rather vital, John.
Spock's brain.
This film, Thunderdome explains stuff. It does expository, it does backstory. It tells you why things are there,
Yeah.
shit, energy, blah blah blah. Fury Road dispensed with any backstory.
Any of
It
that.
just jumped right into it, and you had to figure out where the fuck you were. And
Yeah.
that film was getting on, and that was what's great about it. And he figured it out. So I'm wasting a lot of energy visually and in the narrative explaining why I'm doing this. Throw it away. You don't need it.
Right.
You
No
don't
one cares.
care.
No
Made
one-
that
no
film
one-
so freaking
And
brutal.
nobody worried about the water until just now, I guess.
No, just
no
now.
one
Just
cares.
like
You're supposed to hold it right
gravity would be
now.
better if she didn't have a stupid backstory about her kid or something. We don't care about that.
Yes.
You know, you
We're
could
up
cut
in
the stuff. If you cut the stuff out about the kids crashing in the desert and like that, it probably been a better film. It's like
Although the
Okay.
shot of them all standing on the wrecked plane was
no,
pretty
just
cool.
show it.
That-
Just
that
show
was-
it.
Just
that
show
was
it.
cool.
Yeah, that's the thing.
her sitting all the way up on the top of the tail.
That was
Uh-huh.
cool.
That says it all.
Even-
They don't have to explain anything. Just say it. You know, just show
You're
it.
right, Scott. It would have been so evocative if it wasn't explained.
Yeah.
I
Do you
lo-
think
I
they
lo-
just-
I
do you
do
think- do you
like,
think they
um,
just found an area like near Sydney that was nice that had that lagoon in it, and they were like, "We're just going to shoot here."
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
I
it's
like
a
when that little
vacation
girl
for
or that little
everybody.
boy jumped in the trunk and it went all the way underground. That was sweet.
That was
That was
that little
actually
boy who was
almost,
helping out Bruce
uh,
Spence. That was kind of, he was funny with the pith helmets and the little
With the
fan.
pith helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
there
really
are
cool.
there are lots of individual
It
scenes.
was
that are good.
almost Picnic at Hanging Rock that the location for
Felt like it.
Yeah.
for the Boys Town or whatever the fuck it's called.
Do we need a Jim's corner, Jim?
Jim, take it away.
He didn't like it.
You didn't like it.
I didn't like it there.
You didn't like it then.
I
you
didn't like it in
now.
'85, and I didn't like it in '23.
I think there's lots of shots and individual sequences that are really flipping great. I just didn't
Yeah.
think the whole thing held together because it didn't hold together.
That's
No.
I mean that's why as I said I think this is an important historical document.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
this is an
glad. I'm
important-
glad I saw it. For sure.
I think this is an important movie to watch
Wait.
because of how many things that it ends up affecting in the long run.
That's
And it's
the-
not a hard watch. Like
But
it was
still,
easy
it
to
was-
watch it.
It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
easy watch.
Very,
fun.
It's a very influential film. You know, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves is still part of the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, just the word Thunderdome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome to Thunderdome,
It was
bitch.
I mean,
it was a significant hit in '85, and there is nothing but great films in '85.
it's kind of one of the first memes, right?
This
Yeah,
is
what?
this is in Roger Ebert's top 10 films of 1985.
Yeah,
He gave it
this
4
was
out of
the
4
same year-
stars and said that it's the first thing he's seen since karate films became big that did fights in a new way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Also, this
Well,
is
and I
the-
was
came out the
humming
same
Private
month-
Dancer for
same
like 2
month
days.
So
Yeah.
same month as Back to the Future. Same month.
Yes, it was.
Huh.
Jesus.
I like.
Yeah,
I like
we
that way
don't
better.
need another hero was number 1 in Canada, number 2 in the US, and number
Or I mean,
3
hero, yeah.
in-
Inescapable.
and number 3 in the UK.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I know, it was nuts. Well, I guess we're ready for thumbs.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
I'm gonna
gonna
give
give
it. I think I'm right in here.
I'm
I
almost
am.
all the way up. 11.
Kind of a cockeyed thumbs up.
I'm 11 o'clock.
like-
I'm actually glad I saw it again, but I could tell there were some problems with it.
Yeah.
I like as many things as I dislike.
again, I picked this because it goes with my now year-long theme of apocalypses, and
Sure.
also
Oh yeah.
rest in peace, Tina Turner.